Got him. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Rip Fishing. It is late March down here in Florida, and today we're gonna be bass fishing this pond, and as we're fishing, I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks. Let's get fishing. All right, so I'm starting off today is with an underspin and a Keitech 3.8 swim bait. This is gonna be my searching bait. So as I'm walking this pond trying to find where they're at, I'm gonna be using this for, you know, seeing where they're biting, seeing where they're feeding. Now, I'd recommend bringing 2 rods if you can. If you can't afford it, then I'd say hook up your rod with more of a swim bait, square bill, some kind of searching bait till you find where they're at. I'm also gonna have a worm tied on. It's just a wacky style worm. This is where I can really target certain areas, maybe lay downs, you know, underneath a tree, something like that, to where I think they may be at. So I like to have 2 rigged up, one for very particular targeting certain areas and one for searching. So especially right now, being that we're getting towards April, pretty much here in Florida, most of the bass I should be finding are gonna be post-spawn. So they should be really kind of swimming around, feeding back up after spawning, and they're gonna be feeding on bait fish. Now, I actually, before I got here, I saw 2 already starting to hit the bank. So they really should be pushing the bait fish up in the shallow spots right now. So we're starting off with our searching bait, see if we can find where they're at. If I can find some good structure spots or where I feel like I need to throw a worm, I can. Also, I can use the worm for a follow-up cast. Let's say if they short strike this swim bait, this underspin, then I can come back with a worm with a different presentation. There's this tilapia everywhere out here. Oh, there's a little bass right there. What is on that bass? There we go, got one. This guy actually looked like he was maybe protecting that little bed right there. Interesting. Look how much marks he has on him. Looks like this guy's gotten beaten up. That's weird looking. But I saw him. He went after the swim bait with the underspin on it, but he didn't want to commit to it. He was just kind of looking at it. Oops. Hold on, buddy. I got you. But then I followed up with a wacky worm, and I was able to get him right away. If he is protecting that bed, I want to get him right back to where that bed is at. There we go. Cool. So just because I fish this pond a lot, I know some of the structure. Right here you can see there's a little bit of a point, but it actually goes out into a little bit of a sandbar right here. So it actually hits in a little bit deeper right here, and it's deeper out there. It's a little shallow, gets deeper on the other side. This is another good spot for bass to ambush bait fish and push them in. I don't have a depth finder or anything like that. Even when I fish this place with a kayak, I know that by running, you know, square bills, different crankbaits, and how, you know, you would hit the bottom, then all of a sudden get off of it. So that's one way to get to know your pond, is by just throwing different baits and feel what they're bumping against, what they're hitting up against. And it's a good way to remember, okay, that spot would be a good spot for bass to set up and be able to ambush prey. A lot of times too, how I tackle a lot of these different ponds that are just kind of a basic setup of a pond is I'll do fan casting. I'll work the bank one cast, a little further out, a little further out, that way, and I'll go into a complete circle and then move on. If you don't have specific structures you're targeting, don't get stuck in one spot for too long. If there's nothing biting, there's nothing biting, move on. And believe me, I've fallen into that many times where I just think that they should be there, but, you know, I'm not getting any bites because of my stubbornness. I keep just casting the same spot and wind up not getting anything that day. So don't make that mistake. how I'm working this right now is just an easy, steady retrieve mixed in with a few harder turns on the knob. And all that's just trying to do is if there's something follow it, tailing it, not fully committing to it, when it gets that little change of speed, little twitch, it'll cause a trigger reaction for the bait or for the bass to want to strike it. Now that's been 2 hits along this bank right here where the trees are at. So I'm gonna take a few more minutes and kind of work it. If I don't get a hit soon with the underspin, I am gonna try throwing the wacky worm as close as I can against the tree line, the bank. But you just constantly got to keep your eyes open for what looks like activity, you know, them breaking the surface, schooling something, and then also, you know, visually, if you got a good pair of sunglasses. Another POI is going to be any type of drain. If you see a drain, always cast on it, especially during the summer. It'll hide up in here where there's a little bit of shade, and it'll come out and pop your worm. Or after you've had a lot of heavy rains is another good time. Now right here would be an area I would want to pick off with a worm, you know, a jig, something like that. I do have to be a little bit careful what I'm throwing because I got an exposed hook on the wacky rig. But, you know, a lay down like this, a stick, a tree falling into the water sticking out is definitely a POI you want to focus around. And they were just pushing bait fish right up into that vegetation. And then I saw 2 decent sized ones starting to swim this way. There we go. Got one. Little guy. There he goes. So what I've been noticing, and they've been schooling bait fish right where it kind of curves into, right going to this cove. So they've been pushing them right here at this point. I had one hit a little bit earlier on my underspin while walking here, but all my other bites that I've gotten have been right here on the wacky rig. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Look at that. I had it hooked in the belly of the worm. Somehow it came off, ripped off here, then rehooked the worm. I've never seen that before. Let's see what this guy looks like though. I'm gonna have to replace it. It doesn't look right in the water. It looks fine. I did see another hit over here, so let's try it right back over here real quick. There we go. Little guy. That's all right. We'll take him. Got him. Oh, nice. This is a big bowfin. I haven't even seen a bowfin in here before. Oh no, it came off. Dang. He's still sitting right there. I've never seen a bowfin in here before. That was cool. All right, guys, I'm wrapping it up. I hope you guys were able to use some of the tricks that I taught you today. And as always, guys, I appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you out there on the water.